Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, one of the most dishonest things about modern liberalism is how they're constantly preaching to us about inclusion and representation, but of course only when it suits them, right? They want to empower women, they want women, and especially women and people of color in positions of power, but they don't actually believe in empowering women or minorities. No, they only believe in empowering people who toe their ideological line, who obey their political and cultural commandments. If you step out of line, if you think for yourself, if you dare support the wrong party, then all of a sudden your gender doesn't matter, your skin color doesn't matter, you could check every identity box, but if there's an R next to your name, the leftist perspective is to always default to white supremacy. You are a white supremacist. In the case of Larry Elder, right, he was a white supremacist in blackface. As the Los Angeles Times called him, the blackface of white supremacy. It's one of the deepest points of hypocrisy from the left. They talk a big game about diversity and inclusion and tolerance, but they're the biggest ideological bigots on the planet. And well, that phenomenon is on display here, I gotta tell ya. This time in the case of the nomination of Judge Jeanine. Let me show you guys the chaos that Democrats and their minions are causing, but before we get into the Democrat chaos, this video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's first play that clip. This video is sponsored by Ground News. We are in the middle of an information war. I mean, it's all out digital warfare out there. We got so many different outlets and countries and people and groups all pushing different angles and spinning stories in different ways. And so in this kind of information jungle, you need to be equipped with the right tools, and that's where Ground News comes in. Hands down, the absolute best news aggregator on the internet. And honestly, if you're looking for unbiased information, the absolute most important tool that you can use right now. And really what it all boils down to is their blind spot tool here, which gives you all the stories and then shows you the stories that certain news outlets are purposely ignoring, showing you the blind spots in the media landscape. Here we have an example. It's now coming to light that the Joe Biden auto pens were likely illegitimate, but if you look at the coverage, yeah, well, it basically doesn't exist in left-wing circles. Well, if you want to have the full view, you need Ground News, you need the blind spot tool, and here's the pitch. By simply going to ground.news/hivemind or scanning the QR code on screen, you can go and take advantage of an exclusive offer, giving you 40% off Ground News' Vantage plan. What are you waiting for? Go to groundnews.com/hivemind or scan the QR code on screen so you can protect yourself in this absolute information jungle. A huge thank you to Ground News. Now back to the video. Alright folks, so I think one thing is becoming increasingly apparent. Democrats have become so allergic to competence that they can't even stand a woman with decades of courtroom experience being nominated as U.S. attorney simply because she's not one of them.
She has been widely praised for her work.
Reject her. Reject her. None of you are representing district president, 700,000 people in the district of Columbia. Don't want to be Pirro.
President reject Pirro.
You know, this is a woman who shattered glass ceilings before it was fashionable. Judge Jeanine was the first female district attorney in Westchester County. She's the founder of the state's first domestic violence bureau. She is a trailblazer by every definition of the word. But because she worked at Fox News, because she supported Donald Trump, they now want you to believe that she is unqualified. I mean, just listen to some of this rhetoric.
My concerns with Ms. Pirro's nomination are numerous. Ms. Pirro is a Fox News media personality. She does not have the professional qualifications or the prosecutorial ethics to serve as a U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. In fact, she seems to have no concept of ethics at all.
Mazie Hirono, who's done nothing of value during her entire professional career, is now here claiming that Pirro lacks ethics. And by the way, this is the same senator who once said that men should, quote, shut up and be presumed guilty in sexual assault allegations. Remember during the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, she told the men of America to, quote, shut up and step up, to do the right thing. And her definition of the right thing is to blindly believe uncredible accusations of SA and destroy somebody's life because it fits her political fancy. And the hypocrisy of the statement, not just in the sense that Mazie Hirono herself is totally unqualified for the position that she sits in, but also in the sense that she's the same woman who backed the most incompetent, unvetted leftist nominees we've ever seen. You know, like the majority of Joe Biden's nominees, like Ketanji Brown Jackson, who couldn't even define what a woman is.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
I can't.
You can't?
Not
in this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the meaning
biologist.
of the
Like Vanity Gupta, who lied under oath. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Democrats rubber stamp every radical who pushes their ideology, especially if they tick identity boxes, no matter how unqualified. But when Trump nominates somebody with a real track record, a real, let's call it feminist trailblazer, a real feminist, not the third wave bullcrap, well then suddenly it's time for resistance. And really, let's not ignore the disgusting and despicable double standard of how these Democrats treat minorities who don't toe the Democrat line. If you're a left-wing activist, I mean, they'll throw you a parade. They'll get you to where you need to go. I mean, let's be freaking real. They got Kamala Harris not only as a VP on a presidential ticket, but then even ran her for the Oval freaking office during a presidential election. This woman.
But spirit's tired, but it cannot be defeated.
Never let anybody defeat that. Because then what do we have left?
When we think about like these moments where we see things that are being taken, but also let's see it as nature abhors a vacuum. So where there's a vacancy, then let's fill it, right? And let's know that the reality is that the progress of our nation has always been about the expansion of rights, not the restriction of rights. We're seeing a U-turn right now. These things all coexist. But I believe we fight for something, not against something. Right?
A totally incoherent individual who seems to be frickin' speaking in tongues half the time. A person whose speaking ability can only be described as talking in word salad and the most emptiest of empty platitudes. We need to come together and rise up to the moment. And if we don't hold on to what we've got, well then we're gonna let go of what we've got. And that highlights the importance of a firm grip. I mean, just the dumbest, most brain-dead stuff. If you're willing to push the socialist agenda, or really the crony socialist agenda, well then they'll sell you. I mean, they will get you to the top no matter what. They'll astroturf your entire career. But if you're Hispanic, if you're black, if you're Asian, but you're a conservative, they'll smear you like you've never seen before. They'll call you a traitor. Jeanine Pirro is a Lebanese American. And again, describing her early track record in her career, let me ask you, what do you think these Democrats would be saying if she had a D next to her name, if she was a Democrat? She'd be the second coming of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? They'd be praying to the woke altar of Jeanine Pirro. They'd give her the frickin' Stacey Abrams treatment, right? They'd give her an appearance on Star Trek to be presented as President of Earth.
The President of United Earth.
But of course, Jeanine Pirro is a common sense conservative, and so she has to be smeared as unqualified, as stupid, as deranged, as crazy, as hateful, racist, a bigot, a zealot. Every negative name, every negative term in the book. It all applies. You become public enemy number one. We've seen it before. They did the same thing to Clarence Thomas, the same thing to Ben Carson, the same thing to Larry Elder. They call people like Byron Donalds race traitors, stupid extremists, and Uncle Tom being conned by the white man to fight against his and his people's own personal interest. It's just so blatant, it's so partisan, it's so hateful, and it's so damn petty. These Democrats are so consumed by spite, and it's obvious what they're doing. They don't have a legitimate path to block Jeanine Pirro. They just want to sabotage, disrupt, delay. That's all they've been doing throughout all of these nomination processes. If it's Donald Trump's pick, they're against it. And not just against it, but they're actively wasting time and taxpayer dollars. It's just a pathetic, petty display. The constant throwing of tantrums in public, the crash confirmation hearings, last week watching Cory Booker and the Democrats storm out of the room and cause a whole uproar, or Cory Booker filibustering for 7 weeks straight on the floor as he smokes his freaking meth pipe in the bathroom. It's just all so ridiculous. These people are so unserious. They've become the party of political performance art and political sabotage, and frankly, the party of beating down and stifling actual qualified people of color. And that's really the deepest hypocrisy. Because as we know, the left believes in DEI. They don't believe in actual meritocracy or qualifications. They put people in positions of power. They promote people. They uplift people based purely on their identity. But that doesn't exist on the right. Republicans believe in meritocracy, and so if you are a person of color that has found themselves in a position like this, well, you'd be darn right to assume that that person got there thanks to their qualifications and performance, thanks to their resume, and and in come the Democrats attempting to sabotage the path for people of color or women who deserve it the most. It's utterly hypocritical and utterly disgraceful, but of course it's just the Democrat way. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.